Live from the MSC Studios in Houston, Texas, this is Mark Season Central Radio. And now we send it courtside to Chris Dollerton, where he will be bringing the action. Welcome to the pre-show of Mock Season Central Radio. Today we'll be bringing you coverage from across the NCAA, looking across the rest of the conference tournaments. Most teams have been advanced to the regional finals, but a few games are still yet to go. Ongoing right now, Texas Tech and West Virginia out at the West Virginia Coliseum. Currently, we'll be going there live in a few moments too when they start the second half. And it's been an interesting plethora of games that have happened in the last couple days. Looking around the league, starting in the Big 12, Baylor taking down Oklahoma State 89-82 to advance to regionals as they await the winner of West Virginia and Texas Tech. Iowa State took down Kansas State as they await the winner of Kansas and TCU. Obviously, the heavily favored Kansas will obviously have a very contested battle with Iowa State. We'll see what happens there. Winner of those two games in the regionals will advance to the Big 12 championship and a chance to get an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Looking across the league, the Pac-12, it looks very interesting. The regionals have been set. Utah versus Colorado and USC versus UCLA. Now, the game to watch in that one obviously is the California battle, USC versus UCLA. The winner, of course, going to the Pac-12 championship and one step closer to a NCAA tournament berth. Now, the question is, which of these teams has the best chance to go and get an at-large bid? Well, I'll tell you. USC came in as a number 3 seed, and UCLA came in as a number 2. Should USC win, UCLA has a better chance of getting said at-large bid. But if UCLA were to win, USC would have a tough time getting a at-large bid. However, Utah, on the other side, Utah came in as a 3 seed. Colorado is a 4 seed. You have to look at the two number 1 seeds that were upset in the semifinals, Arizona and Oregon, to determine who gets at-large bids from the Pac-12. It's been undetermined yet how many at-large bids will be given to the Pac-12. And obviously, number 1 seeds will obviously get an at-large bid before other teams who lost in regional finals will get an at-large bid, if you get what I am saying. So it ought to be interesting. The teams obviously eliminated from getting at-large bids. Bids are, of course, the teams that lost in quarterfinal play, which include Oregon State, Washington State, University of Washington, and Arizona State. Teams that lost in the semifinals, which include the Cal Golden Bears, the Stanford Cardinal, Arizona, and Oregon. Arizona and Oregon are heavy favorites to get at-large bids, but as yet to be determined. That's the story out of the Pac-12. Moving on down to the SEC. Very interesting there. Kentucky and Alabama just wrapped up over at Rupp Arena. 53-37 win for Kentucky. Quite a good accomplishment for them, and they will face Georgia in the regional finals. Florida knocked off Mississippi State last night in a 91-87 win. They faced their rivals, the Tennessee Volunteers, in regional finals. Winner of those, of course, advances to the SEC championship and moves one step closer to the NCAA tournament. Kentucky, obviously, a heavily favored team to take the whole thing, but they would have to get through Florida. Should Florida get through Tennessee, Kentucky's got to focus on Georgia, though, because Georgia, they came in as a 4 seed, but they can really sneak up on teams. And so Kentucky, and obviously it might be good for Kentucky to not underestimate Georgia, because Alabama ran up the score early on them. It was 9-0 in the first 2 minutes of the ball game against Alabama for Kentucky. So Kentucky cannot sleep on any team, even though they came back to beat Alabama. And I'm thinking the first round bye in the quarterfinals really hurt Kentucky early on, but at the end of the day, they prevailed over Alabama. Moving on into looking at the American Championship Tournament. Big regional finals coming up. We are guaranteed a Texas team will be in the American Championship, as SMU will face off against University of Houston. On the other side, Cincinnati will face off. Wow. face-off against UCF, the Knights of UCF, who took down UConn last night, 69-68, in a thrilling buzzer-beater win. And then, meanwhile, SMU was able to handle Memphis in their semifinal matchup. Memphis hoping to get an at-large bid, but the way things look right now, they're not going to end up with one. We'll see what happens as the thing goes on. We will take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with live coverage of the second half between Texas Tech and West Virginia. And we will be back as we pause 10 seconds for station identification here on MSC Radio, your home for all things mock seasons. You're listening to MSC Radio, broadcast out of Houston, Texas, your home for all mock season sports.